racing action. You will see a very tough circuit with a lot of interesting characteristics. It'll definitely be a challenge for the Tier 3 boys who go racing tonight on tonight's stream. Good evening, my name is Eitzel, and joining me in the commentary box today is ABD28. A quick heads up before the race begins. The championship battle is hotting up heading into this middle part of the season. We're 4 rounds in as we head into China, and Destroyer Drac has got a comfortable lead. He's got a lead of about 10 points going into this round, and Shub Kumar and EP10 are not that far behind. Shub Kumar is 10 points behind, EP10 is 20 points behind, so all to play for. A win today for either of those drivers could put them top of the championship standings, assuming Destroyer Drac does not have a great race today, but he has been in commanding form over the past few races, so rest assured there should be a good show at the front of the pack today. Let's have a quick look at the track map. So then, China, 16 turns, 5.4 kilometers, a great track for racing. That long back straight allows a lot of overtakes going into turn 14. There are a lot of crucial traction zones though, especially through turns 1, 2, and 3, and also at turn 11, 12, and 13, of course, going through the fast right-hander onto the back straight as well. In order to see how to tackle this track, let's have a look at the Hotlap video.
Go for a lap on board Tier 1 driver Ashray around the Shanghai International Circuit. TRS open across the line as we head towards an interesting turn 1, which slowly curves inwards and tightens as the corner goes by. Put a lot of emphasis on engine braking here rather than braking itself. Turn 2 and turn 3 are important traction zones. Short shift to get the best exit towards the first major overtaking zone going into turns 5 and 6. Hard on the brakes halfway into the curb, turn in, short shift on exit, and aim for a good exit here as well. Then we come through turn 7, a long sweeping left-hander. You could try to take the curb on the inside, but it could spit you out violently. Coming through turn 8, and turn 9s and 10 is a double left-hander. A difficult corner to get right and important to get the line right through here to avoid bottoming out on the curbs. Turn 11 is a good overtaking zone as we head into sector 3. Then we come through another crucial traction zone. Turns 12 and 13 are very important to the whole lap and sets you up perfectly for the long back straight, one of the longest on the F1 calendar. As we head down the back straight, DRS open, you're reaching speeds of 330 kilometers an hour as you're coming into the braking zone of turn 14. Brake at the end of the curb on the left. Try to get a nice apex through here, run wide on exit a little bit to get the best possible traction, open up the corner. Turn 16, aim to clip the curb a little bit on the inside, don't run too wide on the outside, and that is a lap of China.
Welcome back. A good lap there from Ashray with some times for the Tier 3 drivers to aim for in today's qualifying. Would you agree, ABD?
Yeah, definitely. That was a good lap, and I believe the weather is going to be a crucial part of tonight's race there. What do you think?
Yes, in some social races leading up to the weekend today, there were some interesting weather combinations we saw yesterday, and there was definitely some rain on offer as well. So it's definitely possible. I think anything's possible. We could have some interesting weather conditions on offer, as you mentioned. So as we go out on track, we're seeing first few drivers going out on their...
Sai, can you fix the screen resolution?
Yep, we're seeing a slightly different ratio. No worries. We have the best coordination team in the background trying to sort everything out. A few technical issues here and there. This game does have the tendency to throw up a few of those every once in a while, but we are always ready on hand to get them remedied as quickly as possible. So just a few key things to keep in mind going into the session. Obviously, Destroyer Drac, Shub Kumar, EP10, Ritesh, Blaze. These are some of the drivers to keep an eye on. Some of the drivers who are, in my opinion, the likely chance of getting the pole position today. But also, it'll be important for the top 3 teams in the Constructors title, that is Aston Martin, Mercedes, and McLaren, to secure some more vital points in the Constructors' Championship. So Martin currently leading on 100 points with Mercedes and McLaren not too far behind. The battle for P2 is hot. There's only about 10 points separating the top three teams. So all to play for, really, when it comes to the Constructors' Championship. And there we go. I think we seem to have got our technical issues sorted in the background. Yes, good. First few laps now. A lot of outlaps. And unlike Australia, where we saw Deadshot literally sitting in the pits until the last 1 minute, he has chosen to come out this time around. ABD, what are your thoughts on this amazing track? It's definitely one of those bittersweet tracks. Some people like it, some people don't. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. Like you have said, we can see a mixed combination of tire strategy here. People going for the medium, they probably just want to be on a conservative side. They don't want to DNF before setting a highlight lap, I would say, and possibly then they can just go for the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And you will notice that Wolf from Tier-3 is not on the grid after having a turbulent few weeks in Tier-3. Had some good results, some bad ones as well, and his absence is clearly missed. And also, after seeing that, not many people chanting Wolf's name in the chat either. So, yeah, I'm missing that. Something that I regularly saw in Tier-3 races was the chat always occupied by some of his fans. So his absence on the grid is a regret. But the first few laps are coming in now. Death Hunter, Not an Influencer, Archit, and Mamukatmi have all put in laps. With Mamu putting in the only lap on mediums. So that's good pace actually from him. 34.8. A bit off the pace, you would say. But considering the fact that he's not last is good. On the mediums. Of course, there is none of that tire rule anymore where you have to start on the tire that you qualify. That rule has been removed as that is missed. Losing the car just coming through turn 14. An important traction zone, so I would expect drivers to be losing it there this turn, the last corner here as well. Take a bit too much curb, we could lose the rear end. But let's go on board a driver, shall we? Let's go on board Meerkat as he comes through the final few corners. He's on a good lap. He's on his first push lap as he comes through turn 14. Important braking zone. You can very easily outbrake yourself here, especially if you've got the DRS and ERS on and you're carrying that little extra top speed. You can lock up the fronts and go very deep into the corner. The drivers have to be cautious of that during their overtakes. But as he comes across the line, that's P4 for the Alfa Romeo driver. A good banker lap, but there's definitely time to be found yet.
Yes, definitely. We can see about a second of gap already between the between the top 5 drivers right there. A couple of yellow flags, probably drivers putting ways, and we see Deadshot going off the track. Just inside, can we have the in-game telemetry just to get a gist of people who are on Hotlap? And yeah, thank you.
Track is probably coming into the pits now. Yep, as expected. His battery is quite low, which means he is on an in-lap. Another thing with China is there's not many heavy braking zones apart from turn 14. I'm thinking turn 11, maybe you only have those two real hard braking zones. You're not really gaining much ERS here, so ERS management is also going to be a big factor. It's going to be a matter of who can keep hold of that ERS and keep it just reserved for those battles, as that was an Alvadori, I think, of Mr. Rock there, who was stranded on the inside apex of turn 1, an apex that will never ever be touched by anything because the line for turn 1 takes you quite wide and then you make a late apex, so you pretty much don't touch that curve ever. Apart from lap 1 maybe when everybody's jostling for space, but he found himself stranded there of all places. As Contented Mink, I think, is going purple in sector 1 there. It briefly flashed up on the mini-map. We'll get more of an idea as the lap progresses. See how he tackles sector 2, clean line through turns 9 and 10 there. Kept it well within the curve on the exit. As we head down to turn 11, another important braking zone, another important overtaking zone as well. But drivers would be cautious not to overtake into there and instead choose to overtake on this long back straight, one of the longest on the F1 calendar, if I'm not wrong. I think Baku might be the only one that's longer than this. And we've got the help of DRS as well. There it is, as we thunder down the back straight on board Mink here in the Alpine. Definitely going to be fighting for that pole position. Don't be fighting those boys at the front. Mink is an IRC veteran, so he's been around for a while now with the Xbox boys. And he made quite the impression. And here he is in Tier 3 coming through the final corner. This will be his first banker lap. Where does that put him? On the soft tires, it puts him just P9. So, okay, not a great lap there from Mink, but definitely he'll have more opportunities to improve as the session goes on.
Yeah, it looked like he lost time in Sector 2. He did have a purple Sector 3, at least that is what the game showed us, but that's not, definitely a room for improvement for him.
Indeed, indeed. Time to be found for all the drivers here right now, not an influencer. Quite clear of the rest of the field, 3/10 clear at the front. Sai, if you could just have the gap changed to the interval. Oh, sorry, the delta. So we can just have an idea of just how far the drivers are from... yeah, thank you. So you can see Destroyer Drac about 4/10, 3.5 tenths, 4/10 off, not an influencer. Definitely time to be found for the Aston Martin driver. What are your predictions then, Ably, for this pole position? Do you think your fellow Aston Martin boys are going to be getting pole?
I do believe we're in for a surprise for sure, because this track, I mean, there's a lot of room for improvement of for everyone here out there. And if you kind of miss your final run, and then that's just it for you. We can see the delta here, and that just shows that there's literally no room for a mistake here. And this is the time where the consistency plays a crucial role.
Yep, absolutely. I think China's also one of those tracks where the actual driving style and the way you kind of set the car up hasn't really changed much a lot over the last few F1 games. I think it generally has been a very standard approach, which is why drivers are fairly comfortable with it. Drivers hate it. That's different. That's for other reasons. The levels of tire wear and also the standard complexity of the track is also quite high. So the skill curve is also quite high here. But generally, it's a very easy track to grasp, but a very hard track to master. That is what I would describe China as. A great circuit for racing as well. You will see quite a few overtakes down this back straight. That there was not an example, because that was a driver moving out of the way. But here is Mamuka Admi on a pretty fast lap. He was purple in Sector 1 as indicated by the in-game telemetry. Will that reflect on his final time? Has he managed to keep that pace high throughout the rest of the lap? This will be his second flying lap as he comes across the line, and yes, that does reflect in his time as well. 5/10 off pole, but a massive improvement up from P8 to P3 for the Red Bull driver. Good lap there, but again, he's going to have to find a bit more time if he wants to tip not an influencer to the pole position.
Yeah, and just when we talked about Red Bull, the Red Bull car driver, Koushik Tummala, getting that P2 there, and he's just about 0.15 seconds off the pole position. Great lap from the Mercedes driver, who was a bit off the line in Mexico. But yeah, looking good for him here in the quali at least.
Yep, it's getting pretty spicy. 6 minutes left to go, so you will see a lot of drivers now after their second flying lap go into the pits and get ready for that final push. So we'll see maybe a little bit period of stagnation here, but we don't really see many laps. Axel Bobby comes across the line, and that is P4 for him. Karen in a solid position right now, P1 and 4 currently as it stands in qualifying, but there is time still for the drivers to displace them. But you know, it's a good showing from them. There's only 5/10 separating the two of them. Non-influencers have been losing the timing sheets. Bobby's been doing well to keep up with them.
Yeah, definitely. And if they can get the strategy right, it might be just the perfect day for them tonight.
Absolutely. Talking about strategy here, definitely going to be a one-stop with a medium hard. Very, very high on the wear this circuit, so a soft hard is out of the question, because the softs only last for about a lap or so before they reach that fall-off cliff, and then you really don't have any more grip in the tires. You just find you're losing more time than you're gaining. So a medium hard or a hard medium if you're bold and you want to last those opening laps on a cold set of hards, you can go for the reverse strategy. But there could be a safety car. It definitely isn't out of the question here at China. The nature of the track is to encourage racing, and that will naturally result in contact and maybe even some DNFs. So we might see a safety car come out, and that will mean that the two-stop comes into effect, and we'll see drivers pit for a set of mediums. So, yep, all the cards are on the table for the drivers to exploit, and it's about how they play them. Final few minutes of qualifying now, and you'll see the drivers, those in the pits, now start to come out on a fresh set of softs. Contended Mink there was on a medium set, but as you have just seen there, he's changed to a set of softs because that's going to be the wisest tire choice for this final phase of qualifying. The track evolution is quite a big aspect here with the cloudy nature as well. The track is cooling, and that means we get a little bit more grip on the surface, so drivers can extract those crucial extra few tenths. As we see Mirkat initiate winding around turn 13, gotten a good slingshot exit out of there, almost a NASCAR style corner where you bring it from outside to inside, use the camber of the corner to gain that little extra speed. And he's hooked it well into turn 14, good apex there for him. Coming up now to the final corner. His line through there is fairly conservative, safe, but I guess with the delta that he's carrying, we want to play it safe. He's improved a little bit up to P6, still about 5 tenths off, but more importantly, between P1 and about P7, there's only 6 tenths separating all of them, so a lot of time to be found. This is E-Dog or EP10 as he is on Discord, finding some more time in sector 1, purple there. A good line through sector 2 as well, and he could be on for a pole position as well. He's definitely contending in the driver standings this season in the championship. So another driver to keep an eye out for going into this final stage of qualifying. He could definitely put his game up there, particularly on the top step. Starting on the front row is crucial here to get a nice clean run through turn 1.
Yeah, definitely. That's the most important thing for a driver, looking out for a perfect clean start and just having a clean air. That's what everyone wants. And here we go in E-Dog into the turn 14. Decent lap till now. We did see that there was a purple sector 1 according to the in-game telemetry. Bit not a good exit there, but yeah, he does improve and somehow manages to get P4 with just 5,000, so 3,000 of P3, and I believe that's it for him. The qualifying has ended. Oh, and that was very close for non-influencer who is lap, I believe, with 100%. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. I believe he spun in the pit lane, and that is a mandatory disqualification by the in-game. Swagger Turbo's car is still in.
It'll disappear in a second, I guess. That's how it'll come to a stop slowly, and there it goes, I believe.
Yeah, and there it was. Oh, I believe it was Swagger Turbo who was giving the way to McLaren, and that is just unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. He was in a very good position there for the qualifying. He was in the top 7 there. And yeah, that's just unfortunate. We're not sure what happened, but
yeah, could have been it's going to be a Mercedes sandwich if Shub Kumar can get pole. It's going to be a Merc in P1 and a Merc in P16, so a big Mercedes-Benz sandwich. But yeah, as you said, EP10's E-Dog's qualifying is done with 2 minutes left. He crossed the line, and unfortunately won't have enough time to go around and recharge his battery because 1 lap, unfortunately, is not enough to recharge the battery here. But that'll give an opportunity for so many other drivers to steal that spot. That P4 spot is not safe with E-Dog. There's going to be a few drivers contesting for that. Axel Bobby is one of them coming through sector 1. Nice apex there through turn 6. Good corner. Turn 7 as well. Very crucial for the lap. In qualifying is mostly flat. He's had a big lift there, more so than I would expect based on his inputs. The inputs are very, very jaggedy. That's not going to help his front tires. They're going to be constantly understeering every time he lifts off and loses that downforce. But he seems to be doing well. A smooth lap so far, a clean lap, and he'll be hoping to improve that time. There's only 5 tenths separating the top 6 or 7 driver, almost down to P9, all separated by 6 tenths. So it's all up for grabs here in qualifying with 10 seconds remaining. The drivers who are on laps right now will finish their laps, and that will be about it. Meerkat and E-Dog, yes, as expected, are done. So those names have just come across the line as completing their qualifying. And here's Axel Bobby. This will be his final flying lap as well. He comes through the final corner. Does he take it as conservative as everyone else? Carries a lot more speed. That looked a lot better than his previous lap as he comes across the line. Unable to improve. Did he lose time in sector 2 maybe potentially? He will not be happy with that because the last sector looked nailed on. So he must have lost time in the middle sector then.
Yeah, it looked like that. Now we are on board Death Hunter, who is in line next to get. Oh, he goes into the business, wasn't his lap, and we are on board Shuk Kumar, who is, I'm not sure if he's improving, but oh, there he goes. Gets the pole position, tentatively fourth position, and believe we had Aston Martin who had sector 2 purple. Now we are on board Red Bull Mamukati, and he does improve and gets the P6 tentatively.
Yep, it will be up to Destroyer Track to see if he can displace Shiv Kumar at the top, and he hasn't, but not an influencer has right at the final moment. It only seems like there's a few seconds left before quali ends, and not an influencer has pipped everyone to get on pole position. Only 0.08 of a second separating him and Shiv Kumar. Those are the paces definitely there for those top 3. They definitely got what seems like good qualifying pace. So that's good lap there from not an influencer. He set himself up well. As you said earlier, APD, he will be having a lot of clean air. Ooh, it's a little bit of teleporting there. Clean air into turn 1, which will help him a lot in the opening lap. Not having to go side by side with anyone is going to be a big boon for him. But it depends on what strategy he picks. Do you think starting on the hards at the front is a wise idea?
I do not think so. I believe if you want to defend, I think mediums is the way to go for tier 3. That's my suggestion.
Yeah. I would probably agree with you. I think you would not need to run the risk of defending from anyone, especially if you're starting P1. There's no need to gamble on the strategy. But that is the end of qualifying, and not an influencer has taken pole position from McLaren. His teammate Axel Bobby finds himself in P8, so good position here, or P7, my apologies. A good position here for McLaren to scalp some points off those teams in the WDC. Let's have a quick look at the incidents. Of course, the major one there being Swagger Turbo's disqualification, but not an influencer. We'll start at the top step on the front row of the race. Shub Kumar will line up alongside him, will hope to get that pip into turn 1, and I think that was Destroyer Track in P3. But yeah, good qualifying, very clean, apart from Swagger's unfortunate incident, which is just the game being a bit cancerous. It does tend to do that once in a while. But yeah, overall a good qualifying session, and do drop your predictions as to what might happen in the race tonight.
Yeah, so to the viewers who have joined just now, if you want to participate in our league racing, head over to our website, get the sign up and get the roles from the Discord, get the invite link on the Discord, join our Discord server, and just follow the rules, and you should be able to participate in our league. We do have league racing on Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah, we'll look out for you then.
Absolutely. And we have some other events coming up soon as well. We have our ACC League coming up soon. We should soon TM being the meme that's currently being spread in the server right now. Whenever someone mentions the ACC season, that's going to be interesting as well. GT3 action is back very shortly on IRC, but F1 still remains the main prospect for now as we head into this weekend of racing at China. What a track, though. I think it's definitely, as we mentioned earlier, 50-50 kind of track. Definitely some people like it, some people don't. I'm a big fan. It's difficult to drive, but it requires a certain level of skill to execute it correctly. And when you do, it's very, very rewarding.
Yeah, so we are waiting for the drivers to load their setup, load their strategy, make their changes in the strategy, and it's ready up. Probably going to take about a minute for it.
Yes. So we're still waiting on the drivers to ready up. I believe the lobby is readying up in the background. So if we can quickly alt tab back into the game. Yes, we are not too far away from the race start. That was the race start, in fact, in the background, as there's a car spinning off to the side there. That's Deadshot, who hasn't got a perfect start. Not an influencer's managed to keep his lead going into turn one. Shub Kumar hot on his tail, though, and that is Destroyer Drag. The top three have managed to keep their position for now. That's Mr. Raut picking up a 5-second penalty for a collision with Swagger Turbo. It's going from bad to worse for Swagger, but it seems like he's made up one position. He's made up one position. That's not ideal for him. It felt like he would have made up a few more there on the start. So an interesting strategy. Destroyer Drag right now, the only one in the top 5 on the hard tires, the only one in the top 7 actually on the hard tires. Just a few drivers have gone for the hard tires, actually, one of them being Mr. Raut. So that 5-second penalty won't be helping his strategy on the hards. But a good start there for the top 3. They've managed to hold position. They've managed to hold fort, at least for now. But Destroyer Drag will have a keen eye on his mirrors as he will seek to defend from Axel Bobby, who's made up a great number of positions at the start. Started P7, he's all the way up to P4 in a strong position. If he can put pressure on Destroyer Drag and Shub Kumar, that will be a huge help for his teammate who is currently in P1 as they make their way onto the back straight for the first time. No DRS on the opening lap, of course, so no real attempts at any overtakes. Although we're looking down the order here, it seems like Swagger Turbo might get a move done on Archit going into turn 14, going on board. The Mercedes drivers absolutely stuck on his diffuser. Everybody getting slipstream right now on the opening lap, so not much of an advantage. Archit has a small move over, tries to defend, but there is an AlphaTauri right on the apex. He has to swing wide, but somehow keeps the position. All 3 drivers get away from that without making any kind of contact. Now Archit will try to go down the inside of the AlphaTauri there, and the AlphaTauri dives into the pit lane. So Deadshot has picked up some kind of damage, and that totally unintentional, but also not necessary from Archit, as the Deadshot was going into the pits anyway.
Yeah, others got a good, decent start. And we can see Destroyer Drag and Hards already slowing down. I mean, he doesn't have enough pace. He's already has a delta of 1.8 seconds, and he's probably going to slow down Axel Bobby as well. So I do feel like the medium was the best strategy to go. And yeah, we can see Mr. Raut going for the medium stint right now because he has already used his hearts. And he has to go for medium from here.
It's going to be a hard strategy to pull off for him, but we'll keep an eye on him. That is E-Dog going very deep into turn 11, which will compromise his line through these next few corners, and he's probably chosen the worst time to have a compromised line because turn 13 is notorious for that. That's Mr. Raut who spun coming out of the pit lane. It seems like his race goes from bad to worse as he finds himself on the not so optimum strategy and then finds himself on the not so optimum tire set and now has wear on that tire set. So not ideal for him, but hopefully a safety car will help out the situation a bit more as we progress into the race. Not an influencer setting. Fastest lap there is already opened the 2.5 on Shub Kumar. Can we quickly have a look at his ERS situation? Is he looking to open a gap, or has he chosen to do so? As we go on board, not an influencer, he's on 45%, so not too much of a dump there. But yeah, you can definitely see that Shub Kumar is being a lot more conservative with his ERS. Smart thinking there from Shub Kumar. The long game is definitely the one to be played in these kinds of league races. Nothing ever gets decided on the first lap, so you've got to think about the long-term strategy, and managing the ERS is going to be important, and he's already taken the first step in doing that. Meanwhile, behind, Axel Bobby is putting pressure on Destroyer Drag, who's on that slower set of hearts.
Yeah, and you can see Axel Bobby being impatient. He's already dropped down to 30% of ERS, which is probably not recommended, given that we see some side-by-side action there with Archit and Swagger Turbo, and Swagger Turbo has spun again with that contact. He has dropped down again to P14, and yep, that's probably a report there. We're back to Axel Bobby, and he is within the DRS of Destroyer Track. Probably one more lap before he can try and think of getting that position from him, because he does not have the ERS right now to make the move. And yeah, that's gonna take one more lap for sure.
Absolutely. Even with DRS, it would have been tough there because Destroyer Track has got so much extra ERS. He's got nearly 50% in the tank, whereas, as you said, Axel Bobby is dumping a lot to keep within that DRS. Obviously, doesn't want to lose it. He wants to get that move done because he's on the faster tires, so he has to make use of them and not lose too much time to those front runners. Meanwhile, E-Dog loses the position. That's Meerkat who's lost the car coming through turn 1. Not a complete spin, just feel like he's had a semi-half spin there. He's managed to recover, but he has lost a few positions as a result. He drops from P4 to P9, so not ideal. P5 to P9, and that is Death Hunter going down the inside of Jinan, making up a position. That's P7 for him, but Jinan with a good switchback move to get the position back. Smart play there from the Aston Martin driver. Something out of your playbook there, ABD.
Yeah, well, it was. He did perfectly positioned his car, and the patience just paid off. That was a really great move to watch there. Well, we are on board Axel Bobby, and he refused. Oh, was that a ERS on in the turn? That was a bit sketchy, but oh, that's the risk taker we are looking out for, and he's going to dump the ERS as soon as the DRS starts, and there we have it. Axel Bobby into P3, and Destroyer Track is probably gonna get the DRS right now, and he's gonna try to stick as long as he can.
Oh no.
Oh, it's a safety.
Oh, it's a
it
safety
looks like a
car.
VSC, and somehow Destroyer Track got the position, so he's gonna keep the position up ahead. And we are not sure where the incident took place because ignoring the yellow flag. He gave the position back. Yeah, he gave the position back, and he has got the 5-second penalty as well. So that's another report. Oh, leading in pit lane.
Penalties are raining down right now. But luckily for Death Hunter, who just picked up that 5-second for speeding, he'll serve it right on this lap. So it's not too much of a loss. The VSC is not ideal for him. He'll have to come out and stay and keep that delta as opposed to the safety car where you just that VSC has come at a horrible time for Death Hunter because not only has he lost time, it's gone green when he's still in the pit lane, so he finds himself absolutely miles behind the rest of the field. 28 seconds and on the hard tires, so that's going to be him on the back foot for now. But as the race progresses, we'll see just how he manages to change that situation. But this is contended Mink and Archit on the back of right. So IRC veterans, Ripe and contended Mink, separated by Archit, who is a new name server, but he definitely tried to establish his credentials now as he has a clear run on Ripe going on to the back straight. Ripe does not have DRS from the driver ahead, so this should be easy pickings for Archit, but more importantly, will contended Mink also try to make the move, try to be a little sneaky and try to get 2 positions, or will Ripe try to defend from both of them and prevent himself from losing 2 positions as he has to go on the defensive, try to go around the outside. Archit tried to go around the outside and gets clipped on his rear wheel there by contended Mink, who just could not anticipate the Red Bull driver. He had to run wide and then cut in, and of course that's where Mink was, and it was just a case of wrong place at the wrong time there for the Alpine driver, who unfortunately tags the back of the Red Bull driver. So the stewards will have a look at that, but if you were to ask me, I think that's just a case of some unfortunate contact there between the two of them. Could have been avoided, but they decided to go on the aggressive, and F1 is the cruel world where it will bite back if you make the wrong decisions. So not ideal for them, but it's a long race with nearly 20 laps left. Anything can happen. Axel Bobby still behind Destroyer Drag. He's not making that tire advantage count right now, but Destroyer Drag himself not in an ideal position with that 5-second penalty.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Ripe did defend really well there. He was on the slower tire stint there. He was on hards, and the other 2 drivers with the DRS, they were on the mediums there. His car positioning was really good there, and he's going to survive. He has gotten contended Mink out of his DRS as of now, and if that is the case, he can just keep that position probably for 2 to 3 laps more easily.
Yep, great observation there, ABD. well pointed out that it did defend exceptionally well and managed to also get the driver off his, one less driver off his tail in the form of collateral damage. But we're still on board this battle between Axel Bobby and Destroyer Drag. Drag doing actually very well to keep Axel Bobby at bay, although you could make the argument that the hards are now coming into their own. It's been 7 laps, they've had enough time to warm up, and now they would be in the working window. So this is roughly what we estimated the tire strategy to be. So we expected the mediums to go on for about 10 or 11 laps before the hards come into before the hard, you have to pick onto the hards. So this is around about the time when the hards are going when the mediums are going to be dropping off a little bit, and you can see Axel Bobby is struggling with that. Distractions not so great out of these corners, and he's not able to get the car turned in as well, and he'll be vigilant to stay within that DRS onto the back straight, because otherwise that will be a lot of time lost. And you can see he's desperate to stay within a second, dumping ERS at any opportunity he gets. That's Mink on the back of right there. He's managed to claw his way back within DRS. So there should be a move, trying to set up a move through turn 13 and onto the back straight would be wise. Should not try to go into turn 11, because then you would lose that DRS on the back straight. Let's see how contended Mink deals with this situation. He's also got drivers behind him, and Ripe, of course, is on the hard tires, so he'll want to dispatch with them as soon as possible. And as we speak, Ripe runs massively wide, going through turn 11, locks up, and that's not ideal for the Williams driver as he loses 3 positions in the span of a corner. Archit might also get him now on the back straight. He's the driver who he was battling with just a few laps ago, now separated by a tenth and a half. Archit will now move out of the slipstream as they are side by side coming in through turn 14. Will he try to make a move? Down the inside he goes, this time not making the mistake of locking up, and that is a good move there. But we saw that coming from a mile away, because of that mistake that he made going into turn 11, that was easy pickings for the Red Bull driver. And eventually, 3 laps later, he makes the move stick one way or another.
Yeah, that was a good racing from the drivers there, and Swagger Turbo making his position, making his way up to P11, and we have yellow flags in sector 2. That is Alpha Tori that has spun, and Swagger Turbo round the inside of Mist, and probably looking to send it now because it's very close, and he might just think of the switchback line now. No, Mist keeps his. Oh, Miss pushes him a bit wide of the track, forces him to go there, and Swagger has to hold till the DRS zone is connected.
Yeah, good racecraft there from Miss. Good defending. I think Swagger just bit off more than he could chew, trying for that outside.
Sai is disconnected. So yeah, that is our cue for. We will be right back. Just give us few minutes to sort this issue, and our stream should be back within 2 to 3 minutes.
Absolutely, and that is not the podium. You don't have to worry about that. You have another 20 laps of racing before we see the actual podium. But
Okay, I think we are off.
We don't have a scene during. We'll be right back.
Just check. I'll just check.
Shubkumar, don't worry about that. You have another 20 laps.
Okay. So if you're in the lobby, we can switch to the game window.
Yes, let's go back into the game.
Can we have the in-game telemetry and the track?
Yep, we're back. So I don't think we missed much. I think the grid order is still roughly the same. Yes, not an influencer still in P1, Shivkumar still in P2, Destroyer Drac and Axel Bobby still in a battle for P3. E-Dog and Jinan not too far behind, just staying put, waiting for this battle, as that is Mist and Archit going wheel to wheel into turn 1 and turn 2. And will there be a battle coming out of turn 3? No, it seems like Mist is just backed off for the time being, but he did try to shove one down the inside at turn 1. Almost worked for him. So good move there had it worked out, but it didn't. So he has to stay content and behind Archit for now in 11.
Yeah, and can we have the tire data as well? Because I can see that Red Bull driver has dropped down, so it looks like he has been involved in an incident. He has not fitted. That. Yeah, we do not have the damage report right now, but we'll go on board. He is closer to Archit.
Yep, a lot of battles now unfolding all over the field. Most of the drivers have spaced out, but there seems to be one or two harder battles here and there. So, of course, Mist is one of them, and also we had Axel Bobby, who is right on the tail of Destroyer Drac, second and a half separating the two of them. It's going to be one or two mistakes, and they're going to be 3 or 4 tenths apart. So, Destroyer Drac doing a surprisingly good job. He hasn't lost a whole lot of time to those drivers up ahead, so he's keeping good on those hard tires, keeping up the pace. Only about 2 or 3 tenths off every lap, you could say, over the course of 12 laps. If he's lost 3 seconds, those ahead of him, it's not a whole lot of time. Not an influencer, though, has checked out. He's about 6 seconds clear of the hard runners, Destroyer Drac on the hards. So a good race from him so far. Of course, no commentator scores, so touch wood. As Contended Mink comes into the pits, the first of the medium runners, I believe, to come in, and he's pitted on lap 12, and he has come onto a set of hards as expected, which should take him now till the end of the race. And we'll keep an eye on him to see how those hards come into effect, but that's going to be crucial. That's going to give us an idea of how long or how much time Not an Influencer will lose to Destroyer Drac, who is, as you will note, going to be faster in the latter half of the race because he's going to be on fresh mediums and everybody else is going to be struggling on hards. So could be a big brain move here from Drac if he makes it work, but only time will tell as we progress into this middle half of the race when the strategy phase comes in.
Yeah, definitely. The strategy phase is yet to come, as the medium runners are going to start saying that if there is any safety car in this race, just let it come right now. So they get a free pit, and we see the medium runners pitting in. Axel Bobby getting 5 seconds for speeding in pit lane. We see E-Dog go into the pit lane as well for the hards, and that 5 seconds is definitely going to cost some positions there. And yep, that looks like the window, and people are definitely going to follow it.
So we could just bring up the pit stop information as well. Let's see how many stops each driver is on. So the top few drivers should be on their 1 stop or 0 stop depending upon. So yeah, the top 7 drivers currently have not pitted yet, but everyone below that, apart from Mamuka, has pitted for one time. Have pitted once for 1 set of tires. So yeah, that's the pit stop information right there. That should become 1 stop for everyone once these top medium runners come into pit to a set of hards, but for now that is how the pit stop situation stands.
Yeah, and I believe Death Hunter is just on the edge because he has already pitted and he has 8 laps old hards. So considering till the end of the race is going to be 23 laps, which here in China is, I would say, impossible, but it's definitely going to hope for the safety car for another pit stop.
That is going to be a difficult strategy to pull off, but with a safety car or two, there seems to be some sort of issue with the lobby. It seems like these drivers are now coming into pit. That is Shubh Kumar now. So the first, oh dear. That is.
I believe that is migrating host because I did see simply Whitey leave the session there, and
Dear.
I just hope that does not ruin the experience of all the drivers because we are already midway of this race. We are into lap 14 and we see Destroy Track having the lead of the race.
Yeah, we're still getting an idea of what's going on. We'll be on the communications channels, and doesn't seem to be any kind of change in anything right now. The order seems to be fine. There doesn't seem to be any kind of. There seem to be a few network discrepancies here and there, but it seems to be fine for now. So we'll keep progressing. So Shubh Kumar currently defending from right. So Shubh is obviously pitted to a set of hard tires. We saw that.
Very disturbing yellow flags constantly in the in the sector 3 there, which are just flashing. Even though there are no drivers there, I just hope it's not for everyone because that's probably going to stop the overtaking at that point. And we see Shubh Kumar has dropped some position. He did pit for fresh hearts now, and he is in the DRS zone of Messi. He's probably want to get carried behind him till he gets the temperatures in those fresh hearts.
That's a lovely toe that he's getting down the back straight there from Mist. The DRS open, fairly easy move for him, and it's working out well for Shubh Kumar so far. He has encountered a little bit of traffic, but traffic that has not really impeded his way much. So now he's right on the tail of, he's soon should be right on the tail of Not an Influencer. That is Swagger Turbo making a move on Meerkat Initiate. Both of them are on one lap old hards. So Meerkat will try to go for the switchback, but Swagger has it well covered off, gets good traction out of the corner, and that is a move well made by Swagger. But now he'll have to defend from Meerkat as he comes down the pitch straight. So Meerkat now has DRS. Will he try to make a move? He's a bit far back, but maybe if we can get the outside line that cuts that has more like a late apex, he'll have to swing wider, but he'll be narrower towards the end of the corner. He doesn't choose to do so, and he chooses to stay behind. So smart there, could be playing the long game, Meerkat. So only time will tell. Up ahead, Jinan currently the only driver out of the whole field who's in the top 5 and hasn't pitted for the hard tires. Of course, the other one being Mr. Raut, who is quite far behind the rest of the field, but interesting that Jinan is probably betting on a safety car right now. He's betting for VSC, an SC, something that will allow him to pit without losing time to the drivers behind. So is that going to happen? Is a strategic big brain going to pay off? We'll have to see.
Yeah, so we're inviting our lobby host back in case we have another disconnect from for the other drivers, and we are on board Meerkat, who has the S of Turbo, and we see Mist stop going off track there. I'm not sure what happened. We did have a small lag there, and we see yellow flags in sector 3, and Mist has dropped down with those fresh hearts. Probably didn't have enough temperature on his hearts and is dropped down to P13 right now.
Race kind of settling in a bit now. All the drivers have made their pit stops, are now on their ideal strategy. Destroyer Drac pits in the lead onto mediums, and now he'll be on that comeback charge, although it's not helping him. There are some drivers ahead who haven't pitted yet, so this will just be more drivers for him to get past. That is Ripe trying to battle with his teammate E-Dog, both in P5 and 6 right now, so in a good point scoring position. But of course Ripe will have to pit, and that will put him, I would say, around P12 or P13 after the pit window, so he'll be having a chance to fight back through the field in the second half of the race, these final 12 laps. That will be when those softs come, it's when those mediums come into play, and that's Meerkat just went on the outside curb into the braking zone, and he has lost a position there to Contended Wing. He might lose another one to Archit if he's not careful, but I think he's got a sufficient margin over the Red Bull driver, and yeah, that's Archit coming through turn 10 there, right there in the background. So yeah, he's managed to keep the positions lost to only one, but not ideal for Meerkat, who's lost about 6 seconds of those drivers up ahead. And it's just the punishing nature of this track and its curbs. You just have to be careful sometimes.
Yes, indeed. That was very aggressive move from him. He was on curve with a good amount of speed that he had, and right not getting a better exit. The Destroyer track is going to definitely take the advantage of those fresh mediums against the old hearts that he's still hanging on. And Destroyer track is already 0.5 seconds ahead. That's an easy position up for him. And we see Jinan holding on to those mediums, praying for the safety car to just pop out to the
16 laps.
Yep. I believe, as for what I know, is I think it's 5.5% of wear per lap, so is in the control territory anytime soon.
Yeah, by that math, he should be in the 80% range. So, yeah, definitely pushing these mediums way too far. I don't think the game's graphics engine reflects tire wear, so we won't really get an idea of when it's about to puncture, but we'll definitely get an idea when it punctures, because we'll suddenly see him lose a lot of time to not an influencer behind, and more importantly, we'll see him lose a lot of time and going a lot slower, and of course one of the tires will be burst, or maybe more, you never know. As this is Destroyer track trying to mount a move on E-Dog here, both of them on no, actually, E-Dog is on the hard tires, 4-lap old hards, so there should be a fairly easy, straightforward overtake for the Aston Martin driver. Moves out of the slipstream down the inside, going into turn 13, and yeah, pretty effortless move, although he has run quite wide, but it did seem like he had the position before. Oh, as E-Dog goes very wide and then teleports back onto the track. I think that was just a little bit of netcode there. But Destroyer track currently lighting up the timing sheets, as you can see, even with that mistake going through turns 13 and 14. He's definitely got the pace. He's definitely got the tire advantage as well. And he'll look to make up as many moves as possible. You can see just how much those hard tires are struggling through turns 1 and 2. There's a lot of chronic understeer going through there. This is Mist trying to go down the inside of Death Hunter, but Death Hunter holds it well around the outside. A good move there, and even more so considering the fact that he's on 12-lap old hards compared to 2-lap old hards. So yeah, you could make an argument that Mist's tires are not warmed up, but that is a brilliant bit of defense there from the Ferrari driver.
Yes, definitely. The control and the traction that he fought from the exit was just phenomenal there. Speaking of tire advantage, we did see Destroyer track making everything out of the fresh medium, everything out of the strategy that he is on right now, and he has the fastest lap as of now, and as of now we can see that it's probably his to belong.
Yep, absolutely. This is Jinan trying to defend for the net race lead from not an influencer. I think the communications within the team between Jinan and Destroyer track right now will be, my friend, you will need to defend this as long as possible. But although just as I finish saying that, Jinan dives into the pits. And what tires will he go for? Will he go for a set of hards this late into the race? Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Maybe softs. That's going to be a difficult task to carry the softs for nearly 10 laps. It's not going to be ideal. What tires?
Oh, no.
He does go for the soft.
That is impossible.
Medium soft. We will watch your career with great interest, Jinan, if that's the strategy that you're trying to make work in this race. Not to quote Star Wars too much there, but yeah, that's an interesting strategy. But the first time we're seeing softs in this race. Definitely Tier 2 and Tier 1 boys are going to be keeping an eye on Jinan, seeing what the tire wear is going to be like. But if we're being honest, I think that might be jumping off a building, pretty much the equivalent of in a tire strategy. Of course, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and see how it progresses for him. But ABD, soft tires, 9 laps, is that suicide?
I would say so. It's going to be very close. I'm going to say that he's definitely going to be in the 75% range, 75% wear at the end of the race. That is for sure, but we just have to see how he utilizes these fresh softs, because he's definitely going to lose time after 3 laps, and we see yellow flags in sector 1, and that's missed again. First one in twice in 3 laps.
Yeah, he's been the one that's been bringing out a few yellow flags here and there. And wow, not an influencer is blazing the timing sheets right now. In clear air, on fresh tires. Now the hards are also in their working window, you would say, after 6 laps. And he is opening up that gap at the front. Funnily enough, Destroyer Track not closing in as quickly as I expected. After 4 laps, he is still quite a ways off those top 3. He's in with a chance of P3 here if he manages to attack Axel Bobby. But of course, team communications within McLaren will be to hold off Destroyer as long as possible. So that will be Bobby's mission, and he'll try to force Destroyer Track to go aggressive and put some more premature wear on those mediums, and that will effectively kill off his chances of being able to hold that fight for very long. He is closing in now. This is Jinan on the softs, closing in on Swagger Turbo. That soft tire advantage on the hard tires is pretty crazy. So we'll have at least a second and a half, maybe more of a delta, if you will, over these slower tire compounds, and he's making up good time. But again, as we mentioned, it's going to be difficult to keep a hold of those softs until the end of the race.
Yeah, and we see Arichit has left the session, so he's going to definitely lose some time. And we have another yellow flag from the AlphaTauri. He's already lapped by P8 almost. Not a good race for AlphaTauri. And we see Jinan spinning on the softs, even though he did not touch the curb. But that, I believe, because his ERS is still on. And I do believe that was because you cannot have your ERS on when you are turning. That is just possible.
Definitely, Jinan went for the Pepega strategy there, and you really cannot make mistakes like that on the strategy of that sort, where you tire management is of utmost importance. Not ideal there for the Aston Martin driver. He'll now be on the back foot and probably see himself attacked by the likes of Ripe and Archit and Dead Hunter in a few laps' time, especially when those softs drop off hard. Not to make a pun, but not ideal for him. But this is Destroyer Track on the back of Axel Bobby with 7 laps left to go. He's got more than enough time to engage the McLaren driver, only 9/10 behind now, and with a tire advantage. But how long can he carry the tire advantage? He will try to be smart and make this overtake as soon as possible, although Bobby's not helping his case by running wide there, coming through turns 9 and 10 into turn 11 now. Will he be within TRS? It will depend on Bobby's exit onto the back straight here. And I think, Destroyer Track will get his TRS here. So let's see if Bobby can do what Track did in that first stint and defend for as long as possible. The roles are definitely switched here. So now Bobby is the one who has to look in his mirrors and try to keep an eye on Destroyer Track. Destroyer Track with TRS, with ERS in abundance, goes down the inside, goes deep into the corner though. Will Bobby get the switch back? It seems like they're both side by side, separated by about a few meters. They're side by side coming into the final corner as well. But that is a move and a half there by Destroyer Track. Gave Bobby just enough space to stay on the outside, but nothing more, and covered off the switchback well as well. That is how you execute an overtake for P3. Take notes, because that was the best possible outcome there for Destroyer Track. But now the roles are reversed once again to how it was in the first stint.
Yeah, it looked like he got the DRS as well. Destroyer Track had the DRS for the mainstay, so that gave him an extra advantage of extending his lead, I would say. Looking to the overall leaderboard, we see Swagger Turbo up to P6, so he has turned his scenario there very well. He did start at P16, I believe, being disqualified in the qualifying, and he has made his way up to P6, and he looks steady there, at least for now. Great stuff so far.
Yep, absolutely. It is going to be spicy these last few laps, that's for sure, as all the drivers are now on maximum attack. Nobody's on old tires. apart from Jinan, who has to be a little conservative to make those softs last. That's another yellow flag. That's missed again, it seems like, as we on into...
Sai, can you switch back to the game? We are in intro. Yeah, thank you.
Back. I think with your last check, I think Mist had made a mistake and lost a few positions there. It's not a good race for the Haas driver. He's making a lot of mistakes here. They will definitely have to focus on that, come back stronger for the future rounds. This is E-Dog trying to chase down. Is that Axel, Bobby, and Destroy Drac up ahead? Ooh, interesting. So this battle has allowed E-Dog to come back into the fray, and there's actually a solid chance of E-Dog for the podium as well, because assuming Destroyer Drac's tires fall off, assuming, hypothetical, then we could probably see Destroyer Drac and Axel Bobby fighting for that P3, and Bobby unfortunately has a penalty, 5 seconds for the pit lane infringement that he received earlier, so E-Dog might have actually be in a solid position to pick up a P3 here.
But that is the worst time to get disconnected. E-Dog has left the second, and this is his AI currently driving. That is not the perfect time to get that thing. And we do know that Axel Bobby has a 5-second time penalty because of speeding in pit lane, so he is up for P4 definitely. But it's just a matter of time how soon he can join back in the lobby.
Yeah, Commentator's curse kicking in many ways, as you can see. It's not just a case of spinning or crashing, you can also disconnect. So apparently the Commentator's curse extends to internet ISPs as well. So not great there for E-Dog. Hope he can join back soon, because he's actually in a solid shout of a podium. I should stop saying that repeatedly, because then he'll join back, take control, and then spin. So it's happened before, it's definitely has a chance of happening again. But one thing though, this has allowed Destroyer Drac to kind of pull a little bit of a gap on Bobby. He's now 2.5 seconds clear. I don't think there's going to be much chance of him pushing any more than this to try and catch up with Shiv Kumar and not an influence. So I think those two have been pretty much uncontested this whole race. Another yellow flag is that that's one of the Mercedes cars. That's Swagger Turbo. It seems like has made a mistake there.
And now he has to defend against contended Mink, who is comparatively on the same stint or strategy as well. Both of them are equivalent, almost equal, 11-12 laps. And Swagger now has some defending to do in the last 4 laps to keep a hold of that P6 he has earned. We can definitely see that E-Dog is losing time. He's already has 4 seconds off the pace, and there goes Swagger Turbo. I believe he did not lift up. He's gonna wait for a safe rejoin, and there he has lost 3 positions and he's down to P9 there. Commentator's cursed late, but okay.
Yeah, that was a heavy dose of Commentator's curse. He had 600 ping there, I think, because it took a little time to kick in, but yeah, that was another Commentator's curse. We should probably stop doing that. Yeah, Swagger Turbo, unfortunately, after a good race as well, he started almost last. He started last because he disqualified the quali, and now he finds himself at P9. Still a good race for him, but he'll definitely feel like he could have gotten a lot more. This is Death Eater trying to mount an overtake on Archit there.
The disconnected car of Archit, yes.
Yes, I think both the Red Bull drivers are currently disconnected. I think Mamu is also not in the lobby right now. So they've both gone for a walk, as their AI is currently trying to secure maximum points. So I think apart from Mr. Raut, everyone will get points. So it's unfortunate for Dalfatari that he finds himself a minute and a half behind the rest of the field. So I respect the commitment from him to finish and get to the flag. I definitely respect that. And that is Death Eater.
Oh no.
That is a chronic case of late braking there. He didn't even have to. He was racing against the AI. He went through him, and still he managed to lock off. I think he just couldn't see the racing line for a second there because of the ghosted car. It just overestimated his braking capabilities and locks up massively, and he has to spend another lap behind Archit's ghosted car, probably even giving Archit a chance to rejoin. But oh my word, that AI is chronically slower through turns 1 and 2. This should be an easy overtake for Death Hunter. Still battling with the AI. Wow, god tier exit there, but great traction.
Yeah, it looks like the old tires of Death Hunter are showing up. He is already into 20 laps and about 2 to 3 laps more to go. I would say he's near. I mean, I think he might just be able to finish, but he's definitely going to end in the puncher territory there.
Yeah, it's not ideal for him. Tell you what though, up ahead, Contended Bink, who was content with P6, may about to be initiated in the battle with Meerkat Initiate. Ooh, getting all the puns out here. But Contended Bink, who was, as I said, content with P6 right now, might see a late attack to Meerkat Initiate. They are both on similar strategies. Contended Bink on 1 lap older hearts, so he's got a lap extra of wear, which is a great deal, and it should be equal between them as they go into this final phase of the race. And although the delta has just gone up by a little bit now, it was 1.7 seconds, it's now 2 seconds, so it could be a battle brewing in the next few laps, but for now they will both hold position. And the field has kind of spread itself apart a little bit. Death Hunter right now, the only one really in a battle with anyone, and that is in a battle with Archit AI. Although a part of me hopes that Archit comes back so we can see an actual battle now. He will have DRS, so this should be a fairly straightforward move into turn 1. Doesn't even have to think about going around the outside or the inside or committing to any particular line. He can just go through him, as he's not on the ideal line there, although he will put down the inside, and that is a good move there. Hopefully he keeps the position. Even after the AI gets traction on exit. Better so than even the best TC off driver. The AI will still get a better exit than him. This is just how it is.
Yeah, and while we were on Death Hunter, we saw Swagger Turbo pitting for fresh softs there. He did lose 1 position in that. Not sure if he had wing damage, but I kind of see. I think he was just going for the free pit stop kind of thing, just losing 1 position and probably aiming for that fastest lap.
Tell you what though, his decision to go on softs may actually be pretty good for him, because if there is a late safety car, okay, to be honest, it's not gonna happen at this point. With 2 laps remaining, it's probably not possible, but if a driver spins out ahead, you never know, could gain a position or 2. Also, he's within, he's in the top 10, so if he does get fastest lap, he gets a point for that. He effectively takes it away from someone at the front. So yeah, definitely Swagger playing the team game here, trying to help out Koushik Tummala any way he can in the team battle. Of course, ooh, that's a big lunge there from Contended Mink from way back, and I think Edo is still disconnected.
Yeah,
so
disconnected.
I thought he had to open his wheel there a bit, but I think Contended Big knew exactly what he was doing there, and gets a good move there. Another position. Unfortunate for E-Dog though. He's disconnected at the worst possible time, because now it will be easy picking from Meerkat behind him as well, who's a 2.5 back, but in about a lap he will be right on to his diffuser. So that will be another position loss for the Williams driver. As Swagger is on the soft tires, let's see if he can get fastest lap. He's pretty much in clean air, which means he won't have the benefit of DRS. It's a yellow flag on the start-finish straight, and that's Mr. Raut, who has retired in the pit lane. He's tried for 27 laps. It almost begs the question why he didn't go for the full 28. It was just a lap away there.
No point. I believe he's just saving the engine.
They're saving the engine in a game mode where there is no engine wear or any component wear of any sort. He is saving the engine and taking one for the mechanics there. All the boys back home will be very impressed. But yeah, unfortunate for Mr. Raut, he found himself on the back foot. Woohoo! That's
I think that was Mr. Raut's car, and we did see Meerkat is closing in on the disconnected car of E-Dog, and yeah, there we see E-Dog losing another position of in the final lap. We are.
Yeah, not ideal for him, as we did mention. It didn't even take the entire lap and a half. And Swagger does get the fastest lap. Takes a point away from the boys at the front. That could be huge potentially in the championship battle. It is sort of starting to solidify now. We were in the opening few races where we still didn't really know who was going to stamp their authority on this championship battle, but now it's sort of starting to take shape, and Destroyer Drax lead in the championship battle will take a little bit of a hit in this race, as Koushik Tummala and not an influencer finish ahead of him on the podium. And as talking of the man in question, as he rounds the final corner, this has been a good drive, a fairly easy drive. I won't say Sunday drive because he has had to put in an effort, and that has been a solid victory for Not an Influencer. Shiv Kumar also crosses the line. Another solid result for him as he loses control of the car on the pit straight. It won't matter though, and that is Destroyer Track finishing in third position. But unfortunately, behind, Contended Mink has lost quite a lot of time to Axel Bob. Actually, to be honest, I think EP10 was the one with a chance of finishing ahead of Bobby there. So everyone else, once he disconnected, E-Dog was never really given a chance of beating Bobby. So Bobby P4, Contended Mink with a good drive for P5. Meerkat initiate P6, but will drop down because of penalties. And Jinan on 10 lap, Old Softs has made it till the end. He's made it, lads. He's done it. He's very slow. Has Ripe run out of fuel? Why is he going so slowly?
Yeah, and we did see Axel Bobby running out of fuel, and even Ripe has run out of fuel. Looks like Tier 3 boys have underestimated their own teammates, predicting a lot of safety cars, underfueling the car. Did not work out well.
Yep, that is exactly right. Last few drivers now crossing the line. Archit, who has been pretty much disconnected for the final phase of this race. Still battling though with Death Hunter. Death Hunter has not managed to open much of a gap on Archit's ghosted car, and he will serve a 5-second penalty. An unserved penalty will be added on to his race time, and Swagger got the fastest lap, so that's one less point for the top three. But what a race. Good, lots of battling everywhere. All the drivers mostly kept it clean. Swagger Turbo with driver of the day there after finishing P10, starting last because of a disqualification and getting fastest lap at the end there for 2 points for him. Oh no, not 2 points actually. It might be a bit more. It might be close to 6 for him there. But yeah, that is your final finishing order. We'll quickly go through the race director as well. This will be important for us stewards to have a look at any incidents later. They'll if there are any warnings to be removed, if there are any undeserved penalties that the game has rewarded the drivers, the stewards can retrospectively remove those penalties. That's why we go through that. Your final race order, they're Not an Influencer. A pretty sound drive from him today. Started P1, remained P1 until that brief period in the middle where Jinan and Destroyer Drac held the lead during the pit window, but finishes P1 in the end. Good race from him. Shiv Kumar as well, again same story, started second, finished second. Destroyer Drac as well, same story, but for him he had a lot more to do because he went on that reverse strategy. Axel Bobby, good recovery drive for the McLaren driver, and this is solid points for McLaren in the Constructors Championship as well. Contended Mink in P5, started P4, would have rued the chance to not attack those up ahead. E-Dog P6, unfortunate because of his disconnection. Meerkat initiate. Jinan, Ripe and Swagger Turbo round off the top 10. Swagger Turbo does get fastest lap. Archit missed. Death Hunter, Mamuka Admi, Deadshot are the final finishers, and Mr. Raut unfortunately retired at the pit lane after spending 27 laps, almost a minute behind the field. Not ideal for him, not ideal for the AlphaTauri team in general. Deadshot also spent most of the race just toiling around at the back of the grid. But let us now have a brief talk with the podium finishers.
Yeah, so we're just going to wait for the people to join our VC, and that should just take about 30 seconds.
Ooh, ABD, you've got a fan. I've just read in the chat now, someone saying ABD commentary Pog. It's definitely enjoyed your presence on the stream today. You've got someone to thank for their presence. Thank you, Ahmed Anwar, for watching the stream. As we got our drivers here, we're just waiting on one more. I think Shiv Kumar is yet to join us, but I guess in the meantime, we can have a talk with our podium sitters. So we'll go from P3 to P1. We'll first have a talk with Destroyer Drac. Drac, are you available?
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Reverse strategy, definitely a bold call after starting P3. What are your thoughts on the race?
The race was a bit messy, to be honest. I think I would have had a chance to get P2 with Racer. I think congratulations to Not an Influencer. He had a really good race, and I think I was not anywhere near to match his pace today. He was absolutely dominant today. But I think with Racer, I could have got it. But I don't know why I got a penalty there, because I was well ahead of Axel Bobby. But I don't know. I need to check back the stream and to see what happened there.
Yeah,
because,
that was
Yeah, and then he gave me the
out.
place back. I think because it was a warning for him, so it was just a messy one there. Yeah.
Yeah, we did notice that on stream that there was some kind of battle with you, and then we saw that all of you started slowing down. We didn't really pick up immediately that there was a VSC. We saw a lot of messy position changes and some penalties being dished out here and there, but that'll be something for you and the stewards to discuss afterwards. But a great race from you, a good recovery drive on the mediums as well, got past people very quickly, dispatched with drivers effectively, and that allowed you to stand on the third spot on the podium today. So your championship lead gets slashed a little bit, so you'll definitely have to do a few more things in future races if you want to retain that lead. But a good race from you nonetheless. Congrats on your P3.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a bit. I had to take them off quite quickly, otherwise it would have been difficult later on. And my intention was to try to catch Racer, but I knew that he had some good pace, and I just checked my fuel. It was very much on the limit, so I had to do some fuel saving. So I just coasted till the end there. But thank you, and good job, not an influencer and Racer. Nice race.
Was Destroyer Drac P3 finisher for Aston Martin. Let's talk quickly now to Racer ABD.
Yeah, hello, Racer. Do you be
Hello,
happy?
hello,
Yeah.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, congratulations on the podium there. You've got P2. So, anything in particular you want to tell us about the race?
Yes. Obviously, the race was very good for us as Swagger also got the fastest lap, and the one thing which I didn't like was that I was 6.3 seconds behind not an influencer, which is a huge gap. And yeah, congratulations for winning the race, and yes, hoping to come back stronger after the break.
Yeah, definitely. We did see you a bit off pace in Mexico, and this was a good comeback drive here in China.
Yes,
The gap was definitely there between the three of you, actually, 6 seconds to P2 and almost equal to that to P3 as well.
yeah.
Uh, any particular, and I do believe that your strategy also worked out well, starting on with the mediums and ending on hards.
Yeah, I would say that Destroy Track was very fast on those hard tires, so well done to him. And
Yeah,
yeah,
congratulations for this week, and over to you, Itzel, as we move on to our race winner.
Yes, we are joined by McLaren driver, not an influencer, who picked up the race win today. Are you here?
Yep. Hi, what's up?
Yeah, glad to have you here. Congratulations on the race win. Just a Sunday drive for you. It seemed like it pretty much was uncontested all the way at the front.
Well, thank you, thank you. So qualifying when racer to provisional pole, I was on like the second last corner, and I thought, okay, let's not get distracted and just get a lap in. Race was good. Congratulations to racer and destroyer track. I'm very happy to share a podium with you guys. You guys are fast. Most importantly, my race engineer simply was really good. Like the entire time, he really guided me through the entire race. He's majorly the reason I won today. But all in all, it was good. It was great. China has been my strong suit. So yeah, I'm happy to get my first P1 here.
Yep, and also an additional cherry on top for the McLaren team. Axel Bobby picked up a strong P4 as well. So McLaren have a pretty good standing in the constructors championship as well. So a big takeaway for you guys going into the next round.
Thank you guys.
Yep. Congratulations once again to our three podium sitters. That will be the end of the podium interview, and that's all that we have to offer this week for Tier 3. It's been an entertaining race, a lot of battles all over. Fairly docile at the front. We didn't really see many changes in the podium, but we definitely saw some comeback drives all over the field. Thank you for joining us this evening. This has been very entertaining. APT as well. Thank you. And Sai in the background as well. We look forward to having you tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 p.m. for the Tier 2 race. And in the evening, once again, when the fastest drivers in India go head to head as Tier 1 goes live at 8 p.m. So look forward to having you there. As always, our socials are on the screen, as you can see. Do follow us and join the server for more information and more action as IRC closes for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care and good night.
Good night.